Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading with me. We're going to dive into the tarot, see what's going on for you guys for the next 7 days from when you are watching this video. So let's just dive in and see. I'm doing a little new setup as I love to shift things around and change it up. So you guys let me know which one you prefer because I've not yet found something that feels right for me. But anyway, let's dive into your tarot, shall we? Let's see what's going on for you, Sagittarius, over the next 7 days from when you're watching this video. So chop wood, that says there's a lot of work that you need to start doing over the next 7 days. It's time to get moving, right? We may find it boring, we may find that it's tedious, and maybe it says building routines, maybe it's the admin, right? But they're saying the next 7 days, this is what is important for you guys to do, or again, to start doing it. Or hey, maybe they're saying you're gonna do it. But anyway, let's see what else, because that's what's opening new doors. And by the book. So this looks a little bit like studying. This looks a little bit like either you're gaining knowledge and information over the next 7 days, or spirit really wants you to just do the status quo, right? Really a good time to follow routines because you're being led somewhere, and maybe it's to a place you've not been to before. Meaning maybe this is about a certain level of success that you've not yet achieved in your life, right? If you've ever felt that you've reached a plateau in life, that you feel like you've not been able to surpass making a certain amount of money, or being in a certain career that you really enjoy, it feels a little bit like you've always reached a peak. You've not been able to get above that. So Spirit's saying the reason why is probably because you bail out before you really get there. Or as a little elephant, I always say whoever I'm reading for is this little baby elephant. And sometimes it's boring to follow the adults. It's boring to follow the wise words, right? Why can't things be a bit more fun and crazy? Especially for a Sagittarius, you guys love being spontaneous, being creative. And I wonder if you can do that whilst moving down the same journey. Because I always say when this card comes up that you're in a bit of a desert right now, meaning that there is maybe only one way to get through the specific part of life that you're going through right now, and the easiest and quickest way is actually the most boring. So I feel like this week you're really being called to just follow the status quo, right? It says by the book, so it's really about going with what actually works, what you know works, instead of trying to recreate everything and finding ways to open this door. It's just a little bit like you're needing to build a routine, and you already know what way is going to work, and you just need to go after it, okay? Because maybe you guys are procrastinating. Maybe it's a form of procrastination where it's like, instead of following down this path where you're being guided, it's like maybe there's a faster way of doing it, and you go around it and you realize, okay, well, back to square one again, that didn't work. So just follow the path. Now what does that mean? I have no idea yet. Let's figure it out. Seeking information can be very important for you guys. Of course, I always say that with the by the book card as well, that textbook knowledge, right? Studying something, spending those hours is really going to be the fastest way to get where you want to go, okay? Let's see, because chop wood is about action. For Sagittarius, the next 7 days. Release. Okay, so the next 7 days you are going to be letting some things go. So this sometimes comes in when we're stuck blaming ourselves or blaming others. She's covering her ears here because she's hearing this voice of blame. So it's time to let some things go in life over the next 7 days, right? She's at a graveyard, so things that you feel like you've lost, or ending of chapters, right? Because where there is release, there is renewal. When you successfully let something go and no longer let it taunt you, right? When I'm seeing this release card, it looks a little bit like you're being taunted. It's interesting, by something. And renewal, as you can see, she's got both of her hands open here, and she's welcoming of both. She understands why winter is necessary, or at least the stages of it in life. It's just a cycle of life to go through survival mode and to go through maybe struggle at times, or difficult times at least, when we need rest, hibernation, and also times where we thrive. So honoring the cycles of life, right, with renewal. And also she's very happy probably that spring's coming. So to me, this is about new life opening up for you. And maybe you've been stuck again, of maybe you've been in this position where you've been haunted by your past, or been haunted by what could have been, should have been, right? The graveyard is almost like lost opportunities, or whatever it may be. It's kind of like lots of Ten of Swords is what I'm seeing here. Lots of endings, lots of difficulty. But that's been every time you feel like you've almost got it there. Maybe it's like building a habit or routine to like become a bit more positive, or become a bit more, I don't know. It could be anything, right? It could be to do with your job, right? Building skills or being a bit more, whatever it is. It feels like something you have to work on to get the ball rolling. So again, building a habit or routine is a part of whatever it is that you guys have been trying to build or get to the other side of life, right? The happier side, maybe the spring. It's interesting. All right, I'm going to dive into your tarot and figure it out for you. For Sagittarius, so it's quite an intense 7 days, not gonna lie. All right, letting go of what you've been holding on to is important, right? No longer letting this cloud you or your judgment or life in general, right? Okay, let's see. For Sagittarius, please spare the next 7 days from when they're watching this video. The Walled, beautiful energy. King of Pentacles. Okay, that's in your challenge position, and we'll take that as your advice. So your advice is basically what I said. Eight of Pentacles is chop word card. It says the work that you put into something is going to come back out again. So you need to keep practicing on certain skills, whether that's, it could even be a project, it could be a plan that you have. You have to put the work in for it to actually pay off for you. So Page of Pentacles is also about studying something, taking the first steps into something. So the next 7 days is quite big for you to actually, you know, putting your foot forward one step at a time, because it is going to actually make a difference. Learning new things, studying, as I said, research, anything that might help you, actively taking very grounded steps moving forward is your advice. Okay, and again, hard work and effort will pay off for you. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to quickly clarify for you, but the wild card being here does say this is a time of renewal, right? This is a time of ending and releasing old chapters, old cycles, old ways of being, old beliefs, old mindsets, whatever it may be, old emotions, old feelings, right? This is a really big time of purging it so that you can enter a new way of being, right? A new world. King of Pentacles is interesting because it's showing up in your energy, and maybe what you guys are all thinking about is, what on earth is that devil energy? 2 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles. Now, this is your challenge this week, and I wonder if it's knowing the difference between connections, right? The devil would be more about based on lust and maybe trauma bonds, because it's related to connections with people, or maybe letting go of toxic people in your life, even if it's just a memory of them that still lingers, still attached to it somehow. So 2 of Cups, 2 of Pentacles would be it's your challenge to release and let go. I'm going to figure it out though, because it's going to resonate in lots of different ways for everyone, but let's figure it out. Right, 2 of Cups being a challenge. Your connections are your challenge. The devil, fears, restrictions, maybe even like your material world could be getting in the way of your emotional connections with others. Some of you, I mean, there could be someone juggling. Okay. Shall we just dive straight in? The Walled. Yeah, you're exactly that. The Page of Pentacles is your advice as well, and it is the card saying it's taking the first step into a new world, right? A new career, maybe for some, a new way of making money, or dealing with money, or again, just a new stable, grounded foot of intention, right? I'm intentionally choosing to leave this behind and to move forward, okay? Being very strong with that decision. Knight of Cups is very similar with how I view that card. It is about putting your heart on your sleeve. It is about, putting your foot forward. But I always say it's crossing that emotional barrier. So some of you are really having to let an old thing go, right? Even if it's a comfort zone, and that could be the devil energy too. So that you move on to something, again, completely new. I always say that he's never been here before. It's always on the other side of the river. And what is the river? It's those difficult feelings we don't want to look into, we don't want to go through to get to the other side. Sometimes it's just anxiety, right? Maybe it's your anxiety, maybe it's your fears getting in the way, but it is just water, right? It's just a little bit of discomfort, but then you'll dry off and you'll be on a new side. So it's that kind of energy. 2 of Swords, making a decision, closing something out, cutting something off, okay? Following your gut instincts. So this whole energy is about new things. King of Pentacles in your energy tells me that you are very conflicted at the moment. 5 of Wands, procrastination, maybe repeating arguments in your mind, or again, like I said, procrastination. You're in a conflict with yourself. I say that because it's in your position. The Hermit being here as well is all about introspection, really going within over the next 7 days to really think and break through maybe from your own mind, because the Nine of Swords is feeling a bit stuck in a nightmare. I get this sense here that some of you are either not over an argument or need to deal better with arguments, or need to leave it or let it go. Maybe that's specific. There's lots of people. Because Spirit's really wanting you to be the Hermit here, to really look at this through a higher perspective, a higher lens, right? Not as a person in the conflict anymore, but as someone who's able to see that you can't win in a 5 of Wands. It's round and round. The 9 of Swords. I'm going to clarify that for you, so don't you worry. Let's get you this energy. Some of you are healing a connection for sure. 2 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles. This needs to be a connection where there's no codependency though, because there's some sort of need for independence in this with this card, because the 9 of Pentacles being there and the 4 of Swords, there needs to be like individuality is what I'm hearing. You need to be your own person. The High Priestess is interesting, because I would say the 4 of Swords and the High Priestess, it looks a little bit like subconscious healing in regards to relationships, you know, knowing the difference between the Devil energy, right, lustful, or again a trauma bond like I said, or you know, one where you're actually choosing to be together from love because it's a strong connection, not just because you've been through similar things. And then let's get 3 for this. The Lovers, interesting. I'm gonna get one more. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if there was someone from the past coming through, someone who you had a connection with that was very fiery. I'm not gonna lie, very sexual connection, if I'm being honest. Or at least there was a lot of chemistry, even if it's, you know, platonic. It just feels a little bit like it's fun, whatever it is, but it's not long lasting. So I just want you to be aware of that in terms of, you know, over the next 7 days, if someone does come back from the past, that I think with your advice here is learning a lesson, right? Actively working on that lesson that you've learned and being intentional about it and moving forward. Because as I said, I keep seeing this energy of you're moving forward, but then you reach this part of the lesson, maybe you've not yet kind of fully completed or let it go to move into the next one. It's like you keep repeating maybe the same lesson or the same cycle in life because you keep maybe falling back for a certain trick, or you keep, I don't know, it's almost like there's something that you might be, in constant cycle of. The 5 of Wands is a cycle. You guys are stuck here. Now, don't worry, you're breaking the cycle over the next 7 days, which is why there's release and renewal, but it really does actively take work to work on yourself, right? Lovers, 6 of Cups, 6 of Swords, Ace of Wands. Now, for some of you in connections already, right, and you're happy there, I do feel like there's a lot of, like, you guys could be moving homes, for example, especially with the Ace of Wands, 6 of Swords, or a vacation of some kind. That's going to bring a bit more of a spark and a flair to connections. But of course, for the majority of you, you are really learning a lot about your lessons in life and forgiving yourself, right? No longer blaming the other person, no longer blaming yourself, so that you can fully let it go, right? Where we may not have been in control of what happened to us, but we're able to control how we deal with it moving forward and how we heal from it or how we move on from it, not to allow it to taunt us for the rest of our life. So I feel like that is why your choices are important. And with new choices, you have new beginnings, and you're finally learning a lesson about your past. And it does seem to be about connections with people, emotional connections with people. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and then we're going to dive a bit deeper, actually. I'm going to leave the cards that I want to clarify. Okay. So let's see. First of all, I want to look at why the High Priestess is here for the challenge. Could be subconscious fears. 8 of Swords. Well, yeah, it is subconscious fears. Again, that's the entrapment here that we're seeing. The 8 of Swords struggles with finding a solution through kind of chaotic situations and being so up in your head that you're unable to see. The High Priestess says that you do have a strong intuition. I just think you get stuck. It's kind of like the release. And the release, look at the swords. I'm seeing that as the graveyards here. It's like you're stuck in this bubble of loss or challenges or whatever the graveyard is, endings. So I think some of you have not really healed from it. You've dealt with it, but you've tolerated it, but you've not fully ended it, right? I wonder what that is. What's the devil doing here as a challenge for Sagittarius? The Chariot. Now, the Chariot is about leaving the comfort zone behind, right? Leaving the city behind so you can explore new land. And that is jumping on top of the energy that Spirit wants you to step into, is doing the work, following the lead, doing what you know is boring and is not very, shadow work, for example, but it's all going to help you moving forward. So the devil, again, could be those chains of the past or chains to what you are familiar with, but not necessarily are good for you. So I'm going to look then at the Two of Cups. What exactly is the Two of Cups doing here as a challenge? Justice. Making sure that you have fair connections, balanced connections moving forward is your challenge. Queen of Wands, being more confident in connections. Three of Wands. Is there love coming through? What exactly, who is the Two of Cups? Okay. Now, Temperance is your card, and it's coming up here again. It's a lot about you and your healing. Now, again, if you are in a connection, you're going to be healing that based on the work that you're doing within yourself, for sure. Or all connections around you. It doesn't have to, again, be love or romantic. Whoever is around you, you will build stronger connections with these people when you do the inner work on yourself and feel whole within yourself. It's almost like you need to give to yourself what you're expecting others to give to you, whether it be validation, whether it be love, care, support. Knight of Pentacles as well is about making progress. Temperance is also about patience, and it's your card too. So Two of Cups is your relationship with yourself is going to reflect in your relationships with others. Justice, and that's on karma, right? That's on balance, duality. So Two of Pentacles. The Star, working on healing that, right? And also undressing it too. That's triggered energy. That's dealing with your inner feelings and emotions where there might be blame of yourself or others or the devil, right? The devil's keeping me stuck, but it's like these chains are loose enough for you to disconnect from it. So what really is making you stay here? And I don't know what area of your life that is. Sometimes it's just feelings, right? And blame. But the towers need to fall, right? If the towers are going to fall, they're going to fall. They're usually divine intervention on what needs to happen. And if they don't fall, then they won't fall. I guess so. If they're not supposed to fall, then they won't fall. So I think you guys need to trust a little bit like that. Only the things that are not meant for you will be the things that pass you by. And if it is right for you, it will never pass you by. And I think it's a little bit like that. Some of you are afraid of letting something go that's a bit of a toxic habit or a toxic person. I don't know what exactly it is, or certain traits about yourself that you want to move away from, but you're afraid because you're afraid that it will create a very big rift or something about like big change. Anyway, why is the Five of Wands here in the energy of Sagittarius? Or actually better yet, why is the King of Pentacles here? Five of Cups reverse. So over the next 7 days, again, it is about you prioritizing your feelings, your emotions, making sure that you're happy and letting go of things that just create disappointment so that you can be in a stable position in your life. In terms of finances, again, it could be better routines or budgets that you might have, right? Six of Pentacles, I'm seeing it as a little bit of sacrifice. So maybe putting some money out into like a savings. I don't know the situation, so I have no idea, but it almost feels a little bit like to create a balance. It doesn't feel like a balance within, because maybe having to let go of like a certain routine that you have, or I don't know, it's almost like you're having to, I'm just seeing the Six of Pentacles. I'm losing it. It feels like giving it to something a little bit different. Seven of Pentacles, that's where you're going to see some growth, because things have not been working the way that you've been doing it. So you need to change it, right? Like I've been saying. Five of Cups, no more disappointment. It's time to flip the switch, focusing on the good things, right? Trying to find a silver lining. King of Pentacles, that's what's going to bring you some stability. And anything else? Hermit. Page of Pentacles, that seems to be a constant piece of advice. Taking action maybe on what you know you need to do to grow. And look at that. all about your growth. I love that. And again, Wheel of Fortune, things will turn in your favor in your future. But for now, you need to build a foundation, make the decisions, take the first steps, being intentional about it, really, like really actually meaning it when you need to let some things go. People, maybe you know that if you change in your life, you have to let go of some people that maybe you're a bit attached to. Empress. So that you can know your worth and your strength, right? In the end, you'll be in a better position because of it. Okay, renewal makes sense here because it's new life entering your world. My goodness, next 7 days are going to be quite intense for you if you use the energies wisely. But anyway, my beautiful angels, I will see you guys next time. If you enjoyed the reading and it made sense to you, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed it, make sure you guys like and subscribe. But aside from that, I'll see you guys next time.